And today I will be presenting you my solar construction project. To briefly introduce the project, my company is the appropriately named Egan Solar Power Company, and we're going to be contracted to design and build a solar power system. What we are selling the client in this case is all the material and labor to install a complete and operational solar system. The project plan is going to include the project purpose, which we just stated in the introduction, our project management format and approach, the goals and objectives, the scope of work, the work breakdown structure, our budget, risk management plan, project management guidelines, communication plan, managerial control processes, and project schedule. Our management format will be a lean management project approach. Lean construction management is designed to cut wasteful elements, traditional project management neglected to control. We see examples of this in a project like the Big Dig, which went way over its deadline and way past budget and had millions and billions of dollars in unforeseen waste. Lean project management utilizes certain guidelines to help cut down on that waste and ensure processes are used to make sure a project comes in on time and on budget. The approach for this project is going to be in phases. Phase 1 will be design, Phase 2 execution, Phase 3 mobilization, Phase 4 installation, Phase 5 commissioning, and Phase 6 the closeout. The goals and objectives for the project, I will not go into each one, but one of the we're going to center around business growth and development for our goals. And one of our goals would be to capitalize on the success of this project for future marketing and continue business development and good client relations. And we're going to do that by completing our project objectives. Number one will be to ensure the project is completed within budget and its scheduled deadline. We're also going to ensure that the installation is done in a neat and workmanlike manner. We want our client to be happy with the way the deliverable looks and how the job, how clean we kept the job throughout. The scope of work will be required to furnish and utilize all necessary manpower and material to provide the client with the following: 5 megawatts of solar power, local permitting, design engineering, procuring material, safety coordination, stage and install 20,000 solar panels and hardware, client training, testing and commissioning. Our scope of work exclusions will be third-party coordination, meaning we're not going to coordinate any other construction trades. We're not going to be paying for anybody else's permitting. We aren't exposed to liquidated damages. We will receive a credit back from our taxes, and we will not be. The credit will be due to green tax credits, and our payment there will be no payment and performance bond on this project. So the contract value is what we will be receiving as payment for the project. We have a work breakdown structure, which we summarize our phases and the tasks which need to be completed in sequential order for us to conclude our work in a timely manner. The budget is, this is our contract with the client was for a value of $2 million. That number was generated from the budget information. We will be providing 5 megawatts of power, which we will need 20,000 solar panels to produce. It takes 4,000 panels to provide 1 megawatt, and if our contract value is $2 million, we know our cost per megawatt is $400 a megawatt. So we're going to aim in this case for a 30% profit margin. To do that, we budget our labor, our material, our taxes and fees, and our rental equipment. Again, taxes and fees will be credited back later, but that'll be a bonus, and just to be on the safe side, we still quantified it in our budget. We came to these numbers because we broke down our labor. We know that to install 20,000 panels will take us 8,000 hours. This is based on historical data rates, NECA rates in this case. These aren't real numbers. I don't have real NECA rates, but for the sake of the project, that's what we say we're using. So we know at an average of $50 per hour, which is our standard labor rate, how much we will spend in labor to accomplish all of the tasks we are budgeting. It'll take us a total of just over 10,000 hours at over just over $500,000. We also have a material budget with a cost of $35 per solar panel, $1.20 for the hardware, and $4.05 for the cabling, which brings us to a total of $800,000. This shows in our budget and our estimated profit. We also have we're also employing a risk management plan. This is due to the inherent risks that come in the construction industry. We won't go through every point, but for example, a common risk in construction is that the magnitude of the job will be too big for the construction company to handle. This will lead to labor hours going above the budget we just reviewed. The likelihood of this happening is quite high, so we assign it, or it is mid-range, so we assign it a value of 2. The results of this risk and the damaging impact it may have to the project are quantified in low, medium, or high. High risk means that, or a high impact means that the risk could be devastating to the project's success. The likelihood of this happening is a 2, which means we need to give this special attention because it will create a production breakdown. So how we're going to mitigate that is we are going to monitor production rates, and we'll get into the processes that we're going to apply to all of these risks further along. Our guidelines to managing the project, you'll have to excuse me, these are flipped. We list the roles, activities assigned to the role, and the party responsible to ensuring that those tasks are completed. For an example, the role of Egan Solar will be to apply resource allocation, funding, and staffing for our project. We will execute the project contract. We will develop an accurate project budget. We'll facilitate a project design team, and we'll determine realistic financial goals based on our contract value. That's going to be handled by executive level management. Project management will be responsible for all these tasks. One of them being maintaining control of the budget and defining production rates and our goals. This will be handled by the project manager and the assistant project managers. We will also be using an issue resolution plan. This will be where we log unexpected problems that may negatively impact a project that are not foreseen in our risk management matrix. We'll track the issues as open, pending, and closed, and we have a 5-step process for how we go about resolving issues as they arise. Our communication plan is again based on our lean management format. We're going to use top-down and bottoms-up communication. This will ensure team synergy is formed because ideas can quickly be analyzed and broken down. We can quickly render solutions, and we'll maintain overall efficiency, and we'll continue to reduce waste that is caused by communication breakdowns. The managerial control processes we will use to apply to evaluate our project will be meetings, and we're going to use these to evaluate and monitor the health of the project. Our first meeting will be the startup meeting, and this is where we will review all the startup information with the project team and other stakeholders. Briefly, we'll go through business development, the scope of work, safety, our business development plan, pre-planning, our mobilization checklist, our procurement review, schedule review, manpower review, and the task recap. We also will use 25%, 50%, and 75% interim meetings. These meetings will be done at the appropriate installation phase, and they will be designated by the percent of labor hours used to that date. So when we get to 25% of our budgeted hours, we have a 25% interim meeting. And we'll use these meetings to monitor the progress, the flow of work, our budget and manpower usage, and we'll also be able to lock in on any barriers that are slowing down our production rates. We can brainstorm on solutions, and we will go from there to make sure our project will maintain streamlined production and cost control. We will close the project out with a final closeout meeting, and it'll take place after we receive our final payment from the client. We will review our business development, our lessons learned, and our overall project successes and failures, so we know what to improve upon next time and what we did well this time, and how successful we were financially. Hopefully we met that 32% profit estimate. Our project's broken down into a schedule by our milestones, which coincide with the phase. For the design phase, when we execute our contract, that'll be our milestone for completion, and we can move on to the execution phase. When we have our startup meeting, that's when we know to move to the mobilization phase. When we complete our mobilization checklist, we'll move to the installation phase. When we get through the installation phase with a letter of completion, we'll move forward to our commissioning phase, and that will conclude with the closeout meeting. Also, I included my Microsoft project schedule. Excuse the PDF overlay here in the installation phase, but you can see how the tasks from our work breakdown structure flow in sequential order, and the dates which they will need to be completed by in order for us to achieve our milestone project completion. That concludes my solar project. I hope you guys enjoyed your time with me today. I look forward to all of your reviews. Sorry if I got a little wordy at time.